So what's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Lex back again, and I'm joined by the marvelous Tracy.
Hi.
And this is the woman responsible for the locks that you are all a fan of. And she agreed to do a little interview, a few questions. You can see she's working her magic.
Yeah. Retwisting.
Retwisting. And a story that I'll share with you guys. Tracy was always against the idea of interlocking, and one day, because she was pregnant, she couldn't do my hair. I went to go see somebody else, and they interlocked, and Tracy found out. She was not happy at all.
I took one look, and I went, "What did you do?"
Now, can you tell people why you don't like interlocking?
Because interlocking is I call it a fancy name for a crack job. Because first of all, you're making knots. You're knotting the hair, and in between the knots, there is always a space. So rather than a nice
little hole,
exactly, rather than a nice groomed full lock, you know, that full twist, I should say, that locks and it's neater and it's less painful. You know, anything painful can't be good.
Yeah.
You know, so if it's gonna hurt for days after you have it done, something must be wrong.
Yeah.
Please don't interlock.
Yeah.
It's not good for you.
And it thins out your hair, apparently.
And it thins out your hair. Yes, it does. It thins out your hair.
I had to take some crazy, like Advil, Tylenol, all that stuff.
But how did you feel? How did you feel right after you had it done? Did you feel like, what did I do? I should not have done. Exactly.
Even during the process, I was like, is it supposed to hurt this much? It was very, very painful.
Right. Would you do it again?
And no, it was at that point where, like, look, I have tattoos, and you know, I go back for tattoos. Right. Interlocking, I would never do that again.
Yeah, you know, whoever came up with it, kudos to them if it works for them. But I would not recommend it. I don't recommend it, you know, to anybody.
I hear it's good for athletes though, football players.
It's good for, no, it's not.
It's not good at all.
It's not. It might last, you know, a few weeks or a month while they're on the road, but
in the long term,
it hurts. And in the long term, you don't have those pretty locks that you know. So it's bottom line, it's not worth it. It's not.
Okay. And you started my locks with wax.
Right.
Yeah.
I like to start with a bit of beeswax because it molds the hair. I like, I've used Sebastian's molding mud before, and I like the Maury's beeswax. Those are my two favorite start products because you get a nice mold, and you do that just for like the first month. So you have a nicely groomed lock, and then after that you can use lighter oils. Once it's locked, use a lighter oil, carrot oil or castor oil or coconut oil. You know, just a nice oil. And you just always twist. That's all you do for locks. You just always twist. And that's it. Sometimes you do a palm roll because once it's locked, it's locked. But over time, you have a little fuzz. Rather than trim it off, which would thin out the lock, you do a palm roll. You take a bunch of them and do palm roll them, and you're good to go. And
you use wax with me for longer because my hair is light,
because of the texture of your hair. I used because I remember you coming to me and saying, "Oh, it's people. I trust you, but people are telling me this and people are telling me that." And I would say to you, "Well, your hair is a bit of a lighter texture.
That's it.
And we just have to wax for a little bit longer. You'll get there. You'll get there." And I remember a couple months ago asking you for a before picture.
Yeah.
And we did a before and after. And look at you now.
Yeah, that's it.
Look at you now.
And you switched to gel.
You switched to gel, and then I think I introduced you the Jamaican mango byproduct, and you love it. That's light as well, so you can do that, and it's mostly natural. So and it's a gel, so for your type of hair, it works as well.
Okay. So how long have you been doing locks?
Oh, I've been doing locks since '98.
'98.
Let's do the math.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah. Hello.
How you doing, man?
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good to see you, man. Long time.
I know.
Yeah. I'm interviewing your wife right now. Yeah.
And, I started doing locks. Well, doing hair. And I've been doing locks for as long as I've been doing hair. Which would be about 17 years. 17 years.
Yeah. You learned on your own? Somebody taught you?
I learned on my own pretty much. You know, you do a crash course here and there, and then you read up on it, and then you try it out. And I became, if I may blow my own horn, toot toot, the best in Montreal.
Gotta give credit where credit's due.
Exactly, and you know, I can do that because I had locks of my own for 14 years. You know, I never planned to. I fell into it in the Lauryn Hill era.
Yes.
It was a fashion statement, and I rocked it, and I got compliments, and I figured, you know, okay, let's do this. You know, they love it. Let me make some money out of it. And I didn't do it for the money, but because I love doing hair, and I love the attention I got from my hair, and I figured, why not?
Why not spread that?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, the Lauryn Hill era. That's true.
She inspired a lot of people because I think around that time is when it stopped being stereotyped.
That's right.
And it became
a little more
fashion statement. Yeah.
And a little more socially accepted as well.
Exactly. So that's it. But I would recommend, you know, for some people, I know it's hard to have locks and then detach yourself from them and cut them off. But some people do that just for a phase or a style or a hairdo for a couple years. And but I say try it if you like it and you're thinking about it, but don't let there be any but.
Yeah, just
try it. You
go
know what
and try
I mean?
it.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know. You never know. It teaches you a lot too. You learn a lot from having locks. A lot about people, a lot about yourself.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Culture.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've asked you this before, but would you ever grow them back?
I won't say no. I won't say never ever. But because I had them for 14 years, I'm embracing this little break.
Of course.
Yeah.
A little more freedom.
But I won't say never. Yeah.
It's definitely a journey.
It is. It is. I remember when I cut my locks off, it wasn't a decision that I had made. I mean, when I first started, I never planned to keep them forever. Because it was the Lauryn Hill era, and it was a style.
And then 14
one
years
year
later.
turned into 5, 5 turned into 10, 10 turned into 14, and I was like, okay, let's change. I knew I wanted to change. The day that I cut them off, I hadn't planned to cut them off that day. I was about to shampoo. I went like this. And I chopped one off right in the front.
And then it was a domino effect.
I had to, exactly. And I haven't regretted. Funny thing, you know, I haven't. I mean, sometimes I miss them because I miss my locks.
But you can't attach yourself to that. You know, you gotta be able to detach.
But I still feel good about cutting them off. I think it was time. You know what I mean? I think it was time. So I had a good run. I had a good run with my dreads. I'm happy.
And I'm happy too because like I started them almost 4 years ago.
Right.
And it was before they, you know, became popular again.
Right.
So I feel like I made it just in time, you know,
just
like
in time.
to prove that okay, I did it for myself,
right,
and not because like it was a fashion statement. Which I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, in your case, I think you get a little bit of both. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like, you know, you did
the sides
a little bit. So that's a bit of a fad, a little fashion, and you still have that whole attachment and mentality. So you have a little bit of both worlds.
That's
you know?
right.
Which is it works. It works. That's pretty good. So we're almost done retwisting. I guess you've done videos where they can see the crown before everything gets retwisted.
Yeah.
So it's like a little afro underneath the dreads, and then once they get retwisted, then we have a little more breathing room, and you can see each individual lock.
And you had to separate quite a few today.
I had to separate quite a few because of obviously when you wash, you don't always retwist, so they kind of attach themselves at the root. So you just have to be careful when separating, not to break anything. You take your time and gently, you know, pull them apart, but you don't pull or cut or because it's here, you know.
Because if you're cutting, you're actually weakening.
Exactly.
And is there such a thing as too much maintenance?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Like you wouldn't suggest like retwisting every week.
No. No, because it puts pressure at the root and it thins out at the root. You know, so once a month is okay. If you can stomach the separating, then you can go a bit longer. You know what I mean?
But I remember at one point I was coming once a month, and you weren't separating as much.
Right, because you were coming once a month.
Once a month, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's it. And the longer you take in between retwisting, then the more separating you'll have to do when you do.
When you do your twist.
When you do your twist again,
And in my case, I come to see you now probably like 2-3 times a year.
Right.
Is there a plus side to that? Do my locks get stronger? Or is it bad?
Well, the thing with you, you do take care of your hair.
Yeah.
You do your shampoos on a regular.
And I twist on my own once in a while.
And you twist on your own once in a while. And you do treat your scalp, you do oils, and you do treatments once in a while. So you do your own maintenance pretty much. So that's good.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But if I were to take a lot of time off and do absolutely
nothing, you would have a very messy crown.
Okay.
It would be a disaster.
Some like true Rasta man style.
Exactly. Nothing against true Rasta man style.
Nothing.
But, you know,
I gotta get a job at the end of the day.
And your brain, you have to feed it. You know what I mean? You have to take care of it. So I do recommend some maintenance every so often. You know. And you know, a lot of people think, oh, it's dreads, you don't have to do anything. Yes,
that's not true.
It's dreads, but it's hair.
It's still hair.
You know, so you still need some treatments, you still need some moisturizing, you still need some conditioners, you still need some shampoo. You know, it is hair, and you still want it to grow, and you still want it to be healthy. Exactly. So that's what's up.
And I told you before we started filming that when I washed my hair a couple of days ago that I would squeeze the locks and like a lot of creamy liquid was coming out. Like, can you explain to the viewers what that might have been?
That might have been products that you've been putting in over time, and just stuff from the air, exhaust, and
an accumulation of everything.
Accumulation of everything. So you know, it's like your hands. If you go around touching stuff, or you know, your hands are gonna get dirty. You know what I mean? So there's bad air, there's smoke, there's cooking, there's smells, there's dust, there's everything.
That's a good
point. So it's gonna happen. You know, don't be alarmed. Just wash your hair every once in a while.
I was very alarmed. I got out of the shower and I'm like, what is going on? Squeezing it and I swear I took like 3-4 showers to get it out. You know, but before I did that, I did the apple cider vinegar rinse.
Right. And that too would let the cloudiness would come from that because it's absorbing everything and then you're rinsing it away. So that's expected. But it's pretty clean now. I can see, you know.
And to anybody who wants to who's in the lock game and they're having a hard time, you know, push through, what would you suggest to them?
Well, what exactly do you mean?
Like, you know, you have the locks and you're kind of like, I don't know, maybe I should cut them.
My advice is don't. You know, one of the things that growing locks teaches you is patience. It'll happen eventually. Everything good takes time. I mean, you can attest to that, right?
It's not an overnight process.
Exactly. And I remember when I started your dreads, you know, you came to me a couple times and you're like, oh, I don't know, my dad said this, or not blowing up your dad.
No.
My friend, you know, I have this friend and he said it's not supposed to look like this. You remember what I asked you back then? Does your friend have dreads?
That's right.
And what did you say? No. And what did I say? I rest my case because I had dreads at that time, right?
That's right.
So it's all about patience. Just relax, do the work because you have to do a little bit of work. And it's not much. You can do it in your leisure time. Throw some wax on and do some twists while you watch TV. It's as simple as that. And you'll get there. You'll get there. Don't give up. You'll get there and you're going to love your locks.
Exactly.
Trust me.
It's not overnight.
It's not overnight, no. And that's it.
Anything good takes time.
Anything good takes time.
That's a good quote right there.
We're gonna just lubricate the scalp just a little bit, as I always do after you shampoo. I'm using an ice oil. It's good for circulation. So
ice
you get
oil.
you get the scalp breathing a bit, moisturize a bit, and you get the blood flowing properly. So that helps in growth. And this oil is good as well for dryness.
And this is something I can get and do on my own? Or
yeah, you can do it on your own. You just need a little. It comes with a little nozzle.
And how often should one do this?
Once a week.
Okay.
Once a week or once every couple of weeks. I would say once a week because, especially now with the heat on in the house.
Winter,
and,
the dry
it gets
air.
really dry. So just, put it on, put a little, and then you can just use your fingertips and
massage it in.
Right.
And I've been using like to moisturize water and coconut oil. That's good.
That's fine as well.
Okay.
That's fine.
And like
all the natural stuff.
And that too, I should do what, like every couple days.
Every couple days, moisturize every couple days.
Because that's not harmful.
It's not harmful at all. Like I say, especially now with the heat coming on, all the air is drier. So you do that, and every once in a while you want to do a little palm roll as well.
With some oil.
A little light oil.
Okay.
Or not.
Or not.
Just from the roots to the tip.
Okay.
Just to groom everything, just to
keep the fuzzy hair in place.
Exactly. And that's it. You don't have to do one at a time. You do a bunch.
Okay. That looks great.
Exactly. And you can always use a little bit of a light oil on the hair itself. Or sometimes I like to use a natural oil sheen. So I'm going to do an olive oil sheen. And all you do is spray a little on. Just for that finishing glow, And that's it.
And then you're good to go.
And then you're good to go.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Adios, YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. So there you have it, YouTube. You had the problem, the loctitian, the solution, and now the final product. The footage you saw of the loctitian, that was a couple days ago, so this is what the twist looks like a couple days later. You see, I got rid of the lock on the side, on this side too. This side came out a little more, not as nice as I thought it would, but it's alright, The thing I noticed about dreadlocks is you can never get perfection. And got a couple jewels in there, a couple lock jewels. Adds a little something, So that's it. You saw the loctitian, you saw the problem, it was taken care of. I still have a little bit in there that I could get rid of, but it's not nearly as bad as it once was, as you saw earlier in the video. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's a long ass video, but hopefully you guys got some good insight. I know I learned some things today out of all this, and that's it. Until next time, one love. Peace.